We're here. It's happening. I'm a minute early for probably the first time in my life, but I could not just sit here and watch the last minute tick down. I could not do it. I think I would have actually gone insane. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm nervous and excited or if my Ritalin's just kicking in hard. Let me turn my music off. That's my Get Pumped song. Here by Briggs featuring Kate Baker, and it's amazing. I'm just like, woo, okay. We're here. It's happening. Welcome to the masterclass. I am so freaking excited to have you guys here. This has been a long time in the making. So many notes, so much prep behind the scenes, and honestly, I'm relieved that we're here now and we're going to do it. I was literally scrambling around the house about 2 minutes ago trying to find my ring light because of course I put the cord in a completely separate place to where the ring light is. Anyway, it's been a chaotic morning. Hi everyone, how has your morning been? How are things going for you? Where are you listening in from? Who's here on the call with me today? I know that a lot of people will be watching the replay. It's first day of school for a lot of mums. My kids went back yesterday, all three of them, daycare, well, ELC, year 3 and year 6, but I know a lot of schools start today, some start Wednesday. It's kind of like a staggered approach these days. So I know that a lot of mums are still on school run right now, and will be tuning into the replay. I know that about 80% of the women in my world always watch the replays, about 20% join in live when they can. So for those of you watching the replay, hi, how has your day been? How's your week been whenever you're getting to watch this? Hi, Caitlin. Caitlin's from Adelaide. Hi. How are you? How's your morning been? Okay, so this masterclass is really a masterclass. There's no slides. This is not a sales webinar. I'm not going to be speaking at the end about what products or offerings I have available at the moment. If you are listening to this masterclass, you do want more information about working with me or joining any of my containers or programs, send me an Instagram DM message and we can have a little bit of a chat about what might be the right option for you. But this masterclass is pure masterclass. I want to fully dive deep into these limiting blocks that are holding a lot of women in business back. And so I don't want to not waste any time, but this is not the space for me to promote what I'm doing. This is the place for me to give as much value as possible. I do 4 of these free masterclasses a year. You've got access to the podcast, you've got access to these 4 free masterclasses of mine a year. So I really want to make sure that you're getting as much value as possible for this, because like I said, there's only 4 a year. And then if you do want more, if you are seeking more, reach out and we can have a chat about the next step for you. So, okay. It's definitely the Ritalin. The last 3 days, I don't know if my body's going through some type of hormonal shift. For the last 3 days, like an hour after taking my Ritalin in the morning, I feel like jittery, and that doesn't normally happen for me, so I'm not sure what's going on. I'll speak to my doctor about it, but if I'm talking a little bit too fast, I apologize. It's literally the like stimulant in my brain right now. But then also anyone who's worked with me prior to getting my ADHD diagnosis would be like, no, that's just Shona. She's a little rave cocaine squirrel, talks really fast, but we get a lot in. There's no doubt you're not going to experience a lot of value from today. So hi, if you haven't been in my world before, I'm going to share a little bit about my story, because this is the thing I hate, is when you jump on a masterclass or a webinar or we're going to teach you all this stuff and it's literally, and I did this the other day. I got up at 6 a.m. for a webinar and it was 45 minutes of her story. It was 3 slides that were useful, 3 slides that I would kind of call useful. I screenshotted 1 slide and then 45 minutes of selling her course. And I was like, I got up at fucking 6 a.m. and logged onto this webinar, sleep deprived as fuck, for all this value I was going to receive. And I got 1 screenshotable slide, 10 minutes of content sandwiched by stories and selling. And I'm just not about it. I'm a busy bitch. you are a busy bitch. You are carving time out of your day to be here. So let's like not fluff around. But I do want to share a little bit about my story for people who are new here, because I know I've got a lot of new following from TikTok, which is obviously very short form content. I'm a little bit funny over on TikTok, but you've probably just seen that side of me and probably haven't heard any of the story behind what I actually do and how I got here. So the snapshot version, the very quick version, is my journey to becoming a money mindset coach was a really natural evolution. I have always grown multiple businesses. I eventually transitioned into business coaching. And I would say that I've always been very entrepreneurial. I mean, I was the kid that was selling lollies. I would convince my mum to buy like a packet of fan towels from Woolies, and I would sit outside my school's canteen out the front, and I would sell and kind of undercut the canteen. I would price my lollies a little bit cheaper than the canteens, which looking back, I'm like, the canteen was probably not for profit and was benefiting the school, but here I was like, if I sell my fan towels for 40 cents when the canteen sells them for 50 cents a bag, I can, this was my mindset as a child, right? So I was very entrepreneurial. I was selling lollies out the front of my school canteen. If I was putting on a concert to the Spice Girls or Josie and the Pussycat soundtrack in my lounge room with my friends, I was the one there like, no, you have to pay for a ticket. The tickets are $2. And I would actually make my family pay to see my lounge room shows. And at family functions, I would take this little silver makeup box. If you grew up in the 90s like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There was like silver ones, pink ones. They had the big handle on top. I would take this little silver makeup box and I would fill it full of nail polish and, the Body Shop musk, like the little sample ones you kind of get back in the day. And I would, at family functions while all my cousins were playing in the pool and, running amok and playing hide and seek, me and my sister were under the table massaging our auntie's feet and painting their toenails and doing that type of thing. I made up a little flyer. It was like, we called it Masterpiece Massages, which even back in the day, I'm like, dang, that was a good business name. I really should have like domain and copyrighted that, but I was 7, I had no idea. I made this little flyer with all the prices. So, and this was like at 10, like even younger than that. So I've just always been a hustler. I've just seen opportunities as money making opportunities my whole life. That's just my brain and how it works. So while I'm sharing this, if you guys want to pop in the comments and share your business journey, what do you do? How did you get into business today? Is business ownership something really new to you, or is it something you've been doing a long time? Let me know. That would be great, so we can kind of connect that way. So I started my first spray tanning business I actually started a wedding planning business first, to be honest, but it was about 6 months into that. I did an advanced diploma in events. I started helping brides organize their weddings. And after about my 3rd wedding, I was like, no, this is not for me. It's so stressful. So I, decided not to take any more wedding clients on. I opened my spray tanning business in 2013. I started doing spray tans from my laundry at home and also going out mobile. And I really positioned myself as the event tanner. So like get a whole bunch of your friends together at your house and I'll come and spray tan all of you. So was really known as the wedding and event tanner. And that ran from 2013 to 2020. We shut during COVID when I moved to a new house and just kind of realized that I didn't have the capacity to keep running that at the level I had been. I miss my clients a lot. I see them down the street still, and sometimes people wave to me and they're like, hi, Shona. I was like, hi. And then Aaron's like, you used to tan her. And I'm like, well, I don't remember her with clothes on and makeup on. I used to see everyone naked with no makeup on and their hair in buns and wearing dressing gowns. And sometimes it's hard for me to put 2 and 2 together. But anyway, I digress. So tanning business from 2013 to 2020. I opened Sexy Selfish in 2018 after I left a network marketing company. I really wanted to not just help women within that network marketing niche, but I wanted to help a lot more women in a lot bigger way and not be constricted by the culture of network marketing. So stepped away from that, started Sexy Selfish in 2018. We're now coming up to our 5th year in business, I think in the next week or 2. Should probably get my shit together and organize something to celebrate that, because like 5 years is a big deal. I feel like 5 years is like, maybe I didn't just fluke this now, maybe I'm doing a good job, right? And then my 3rd business, Time Creative, that started accidentally in 2021. I had been doing design work for a lot of friends and just, helping people tweak their branding and stuff and just just helping people. I took my first paid design job in 2021, and now Tyne Creative is in its entire own company. We usually booked out months in advance, and we specialize in creating designs for creative entrepreneurs who maybe love writing the content but don't want to necessarily put it all into the presentations and workbooks, or don't have time or inclination to do that. So that's really where Tyne Creative steps in as well. So currently running 2 businesses, have run 3 very successful businesses in different industries and different areas. And along the journey of raising 3 kids, I have 3 kids with autism and ADHD, 11, 8, and 3 as their ages. Along the journey of raising 3 kids and managing multiple businesses and entrepreneurial ventures. My husband's literally on the phone this morning researching our 4th business. I'm like, babe, I think 3. I think we're good right now. And he's like, nah, all in 4. Like, this one's yours though. I'm not touching this one, right? During that journey, I've had to really dive deep into my own relationship with money to really be able to move forward and remove the self-sabotaging behavior that just, no matter how much money I was making, these same kind of patterns kept popping up. And what I discovered is that no matter how much money I was making, no matter whether it was like a $21 a month or a $17,000 month, I still had this really toxic, fucked up relationship with money, right? And so I decided that I was going to stop trying to do budgets. I was going to stop trying to pay off my credit card debt. And I really went deep into trying to figure out my relationship with money, my energy around money. Where was I still blocking myself? Where was I still committed to this broke bitch attitude? And I spent 5 years doing that. But naturally, the more that I worked on this myself, and I got out of debt, got out of credit cards, own our home, own our 2 cars, like completely transformed my financial landscape as well as my mindset. But here's the thing, naturally, like the more that I worked on this with my clients through the transformation that I had experienced, I started sharing kind of what I was going through that was then helping my clients. And this is what I realized, like back in 2018, when money mindset, manifestation, those type of things weren't as common topics that you might see today. I really knew that this was a huge fundamental part of mindset and personal development and business that just kept getting overlooked. So the more I helped my business coaching clients have a better relationship with money, the faster they were actually able to experience the success that they desired. And it became really apparent that the passion that I had for this particular topic would be the focus of the brand Sexy Selfish, because prior to that we'd been like, women's confidence, self-love, goals, take care of your space, which is great. Love that. Still love that. A lot of my brand is about that. But I went, no, this money mindset stuff needs to reach more people. So we completely rebranded, stepped fully into helping women and mums to become excited and empowered around their money mindset. And that has kind of been my focus over the last few years. You will notice, my course, Abundant as Fuck, which has been running for 5 years now and life-changing, is focused just around general women and money. The 2 books that I've written, Goodbye Money Guilt and Hello Abundance, is focused around women and money. Even my elite membership, there's a lot of business in it, but there's also just a lot of life content in it. And you guys have been asking me for so many years, when are you bringing out something that's like specific for women in business? And so this masterclass is the first step to that, because what I've learned from the last 10 years in business, the last 5 years specifically helping women with money mindset, and prior to that I've been coaching for about 3 years prior to that as well, so it's probably all up nearly 8 years of actually coaching and helping women through limiting beliefs, 5 years specifically on money mindset. What I've learned is that there is a direct link between your business cash flow, your general life and happiness and balance and stuff, and the deeper inner money work, right? There is a direct link between these 2 things. I have clients who are making $200,000 a month and have come to me because they're still having a toxic relationship with money. I have clients who are financial planners and accountants that come and work with me because they still can't seem to break through that financial glass ceiling. And it's all this stuff, it's all the deeper inner stuff that we're going to talk about today. And there's like close to 40 money blocks or limiting beliefs. If you can this is the thing, every person's experience is so different. and so unique to them. But if we can put kind of 40 labels on similar ideas that people are going through, there's about 40 money mindset blocks, really. I deal with about 13 in my first book, and we're going to touch on 3 today, because I sat down when I wanted to do this masterclass. It's like, I want to help women get rid of their limiting beliefs around money, which we know directly helps them improve their cash flow in their business. There's all these money blocks, and I literally went back through my notes, every notebook I had, my private coaching private coaching clients, the sessions I had within the notes that I took. What are the 3 most common ones that I see coming up for women in business? And that's the limiting beliefs that we're going to cover today. There's 3 of them, and we're going to debunk that. But first of all, for you guys watching live and on the replay, where do you feel the most stuck with money? What comes up for you when I start to talk about making more money? How are you with your money? What's your relationship with money? How do you feel about selling in your business? How do you feel when you look at your bank accounts, whether that's business or personal? But what's coming up for you in terms of money, right? Let's share in the comments. I'll come back and check that in a second. The limiting beliefs that we are going to cover today, number 1 is that making money is hard. This pops up all the time. It popped up in a coaching call 2 weeks ago with a client of mine. She's like, I'm ready for the next level of like cash, but oh my God, I just feel like I'm gonna drop the ball with the house, and I'm gonna drop the ball with everything else, and it's gonna take up so much time. And I'm like, okay, so before we actually do anything on your marketing strategy, before we actually do anything on selling more of your products, we got to clear this making money is hard belief, right? The second belief that we're going to look at is that wealthy people are not inherently good people. Rich people are bad. Wealthy people are evil. The bad guys are always rich. All that type of stuff we hold around actual wealthy and successful people is often the reason that we are not letting ourselves be wealthy and successful people, right? And I'm going to completely go through this, and I'm going to give you action steps to work through each one. And then the third limiting belief that we're going to take a look at, which is going to be probably super uncomfortable for a lot of you, triggering, there may be tissues needed. This is the one that where you can't be successful and a good mum at the same time. So yeah, we're going to dive into that one, which is so steeped in patriarchal bullshit, but we're going to dive into it. All right, so how does that sound? That sounds good. Laurie, how am I worth making good money? Can you expand on that one a little bit for me? Because how am I worth making good money? Is that like a question within your own worthiness and your own feelings of being worthy and deserving of making money? Can you just tell me a little bit more about that one? Caitlin, never enough money. Getting clients is hard. Oh, the never enough one. This is the first chapter in the, like, not the first chapter, but the first limiting belief we talk about in the book. This is, once again, I haven't spoken too much on this one today because it's a really general one. You'll find that most women, not necessarily just women in business, come up with this particular belief. In Goodbye Money Guilt, the limiting belief chapters, we dive into it there. But yeah, the never enough is really hard. I even caught myself a couple of weeks ago, and get this right, Sexy Selfish has had its biggest cash sale, like biggest cash income month ever. I've had my biggest sales month ever. And I still found myself saying, it's not enough. It's not enough. I need more, right? And my husband's like, you need to go check yourself. How about you go read some of your own quotes, or look at your own affirmation texts, or go back and do your own course, you crazy bitch, because it is enough. You're doing great. And it's just like that thought can be really hard to get rid of. Laura, yes, feeling worthy. Okay, yeah. So a lot of that is steeped in obviously your own self-confidence, your own perspective. What am I trying to say? Perception of yourself. That's the word I'm looking for. And we can definitely dive into that. I don't come from anything. Tell me more about that too. Because I don't come from anything too. Like, yes, I'm a white woman living in Australia. I understand the privilege in that. I had access to education and had parents that stayed married, even though I think they probably should have got divorced at one point. So I recognize the privilege, but in terms of like coming from anything, I started my businesses with the money from my own pocket and taught myself everything I've never had a mentor, nothing. So there's like, when you say you're not coming from anything, what does that actually mean? And what do you think is the step that other people have when they're coming from something? Okay, I'm going to come back in and check on those ones. Let's dive into the first one. Making money is hard. I need to keep drinking water because I have 2 hours of client calls after this as well, and I guarantee we'll have no voice by the end of the day, which is fine because my kids don't listen to me anyway. All right, so let's talk about making money is hard. I'm going to be super honest with you guys. I am making more money than I ever have in my life, and the hours in my business, working my business, are the least they've ever been right now. January, most amount of money ever made, least amount of hours ever clocked in my business. So let's completely debunk this myth about making money is hard. So the idea of making money is hard work, if that idea was right, it makes sense that the people who work the hardest would be the wealthiest. So tell me right now in the comments, when I tell you about people, when I say people work really hard, what pops into your head? What type of jobs? What type of people pop into your head when I say the people who work the hardest? For me, that comes up as like, plumbers, electricians. There's a guy like a few weeks ago crawling around on a very hot day in the roof of our house. And I'm just like, I'm full on with the Mean Girls mum. I'm like there at the bottom of the ladder, like, do you want a snack? Do you need some water? I feel really bad you're up there. But you know what I mean? He is someone that I would say works really hard. Like laborers. My husband works with a bunch of, like, he doesn't work with them, but he's friends with a bunch of concreters, and like they are putting in massive days, hard work, lugging stuff. Like they are absolutely exhausted. He goes to them, want to hang out, want to grab a beer, and they're like, dude, we're in bed. It's 6 o'clock and we're going to bed. We're exhausted, right? Stay-at-home mums. So like I've got friends who've like 4 or 5 kids and they're stay-at-home mums, and like they're literally sun up to sundown hard work, right? Nurses, firefighters, Caitlin said lawyers, doctors. I've got a lot of friends who are like pediatric doctors. They work incredibly hard, incredibly long days. Took them a long day to get to where they are today. So the nurses, electricians, laborers, stay-at-home mums, the guys digging holes on the side of the road, and not with the fork, like not with the digging equipment, like with the shovel, right? If this idea that making money is hard work was true, those people would be the wealthiest in society, right? Like if that belief making money is hard work, the hard workers have to have the most money, right? However, what we see most of the time in reality is the direct opposite of that. Am I right? So when we actually like put this all into perspective and actually look at the people who are not like, and this is the thing, we all look at people and go like, oh, the hard work is different to everyone, and like I'm doing hard work too, and like I get it. I work for my business. I take action. I work hard. I'm not sitting on my couch watching the Kardashians just saying I manifest millions. Like we all take hard work, right? But this idea that making money requires 70 hours of your week and hard back-breaking labor, if that was true, it calls out the idea that making money is hard work as a complete and total lie. And yet this idea that making money requires hard work is so commonplace now because people feel they can't make any other way than exchanging their time for an hourly rate. I say this with a preface that if you fucking love your job and your career and you're so lit up and you're so passionate about it, this obviously doesn't apply to you. But if you're that person who's going to your job every day and you fucking hate it, like my husband, he hated his job and he worked really fucking hard every day. 10-hour days, long day, big diesel mechanic, moving truck parts around, covered in grease and oil, exhausted. Like, and he hated his job and now he works for himself. That's the type of person this comment and idea is for. If you love your job and you love your career and you're happy and you like going to work, then this is obviously you wouldn't be on this call in the first place, you know what I mean? But this idea that they believe that their boss is somehow in charge of the financial reality and not them And then the only way to have more money is to work more hours, when this is just not true. So for example, I was sitting in with my bank manager the other day. I was opening up some more accounts for my business. I'm like, I need money to go here and I need money to go there. She's like, okay, we're like at 8 accounts now. And I'm like, I don't care, open more. So I was in there doing that, and she's like, oh yeah, your mortgage comes off in a few days, off of your fixed rate. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. Like I know, just make more money. Anyway, we're sitting down and she kind of maps things out, and I negotiated a really good deal on our mortgage, which is great because we don't owe a lot on our house. Through the hard work I've done over the years, by the way. And so then she told me how much it went up. And even for me, who like that increase in my mortgage is like nothing really, I was like, imagine sitting here and being like a husband and wife, both with full-time work. They're bringing in like $1,000 a week, tax, kids, daycare, petrol, school fees, and just hearing your mortgage has gone up like nearly $1,000. How do you find that money? How do you find that money? I mean, most people are already cutting back. They're living within the restriction anyway. They've cut back their food shopping. They've gotten rid of their extra subscriptions. How do you find an extra $1,000 a month? And that's why the bank manager I was talking about, like how hard this is for a lot of families. They've already got 2 full-time jobs. Now they're having to consider getting a 3rd extra job to make their mortgage payments. And I was just like, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky, I know that I've created these 2 businesses and my husband's business, that we can sit down and go, okay, that's, for me, that's like 1 more client. Not even, it's less than 1 more client. I can do that. That's easy. I don't have to put more time into my business. I have other options. I have a way that I can make that money without going and getting another job or having to, restrict what I'm feeding my family, right? So it's a different mindset shift. It's a different situation, but the world is not built the way it used to be. The world is built the same. The structure is changing, right? So this is the thing I want to shift. If you currently have a job, part-time job, whatever it is, your boss may be in charge of this one stream of income, but studies have shown that the average millionaire earner makes income from at least 7 different streams of revenue, right? And those people can still manage time for beach vacations, watching their favorite shows, and getting a massage. So you can too, right? So once you rewire your thoughts and release the idea that making money has to be hard, new opportunities will open up to you. I was on a call yesterday with a client, and we were working through the same thing. She wants to scale her business and her brand. She kept saying things like, I'm just not sure I have the time for that. It's just going to be so much work to do it that way. And I'm like, is it though? Or can we just do it in a way where we do because there's work involved in everything. Everything has a time and an energetic output. Can we set up a system where we can do that once, and then we can run it in a way where it's leveraged the time that you've already put in? And she'd never even considered it that way, right? So once you rewire your thoughts and release the idea that making money has to be hard, new opportunities open up for you in a dramatic way, right? So the action steps you can take around this, and I will post a post up in this group after my calls this afternoon with my clients. I'll write this up and put it in with the action steps to actually take for each of these points. The first one is I want you to research and reframe your idea of how money is made. For example, did you know that kids on YouTube make thousands of dollars by unboxing and reviewing toys? My son on YouTube watches people talk about basketball games, go over, how they used to have the guy, they probably still, I don't watch sport. They've got the guys commentating through the game. He's then watching YouTube guys rewatch the game, commenting on the game. And he's so into it, right? And then he's watching kids unload boxes of toys, and he's watching, other kids play video games, and all these children are making monies on the ads from the YouTube channels. There are even people out there making money selling feet pictures online. Yes, this is a real thing. And I posted a TikTok that went viral the other day, and it was here's your reality check. If there are people online selling their farts in jars and making over $200,000 a year doing it, you can start your business idea, because this is the thing. There was a woman here in Australia who sold her farts in jars for $260,000. So she actually made over what I said in the TikTok. It was $260,000 in one financial year, selling her farts in jars. And yes, she might have put herself in hospital and the doctor said, hey, you can't do that anymore. Your bowels are going to have issues. But like, if people can make money selling farts in jars, I'm pretty sure you can start your business idea, right? So, oh, can you guys see me? I've just got a notification that my internet might be a bit unstable. Can someone let me know if you can see and hear me? I hope it's working. Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, let me know if you can see me. Hopefully everyone can. Oh, my internet issues. We got a new router and everything before Christmas, but I'm not sure if it's working still. We'll find out. Okay, someone can let me know. That would be great. The other idea is there's a great book from Gary Vee called Crushing It. And this book I found was fantastic for helping broadening your ideas of how money can be made these days. So I want to give you guys a little perspective on the different ways that I brought money into my bank account this month. Let's just do this month. I have been paid for private coaching sessions. I've been paid for my membership. I have been paid on payment plans for people who've accessed my courses. I have been paid as a designer, so like design projects that I've been doing, whether that's deposits or full invoices, thousands of dollars come in that way. I have been paid royalty income from my books being sold. I have been paid, I still actually get a check from my network marketing company, even though I haven't done it in like 5 years. They still send me a check every month from something that I don't even know how to log in and know what's happening with that, but I still get a small residual check from wholesale income from there. And then I have, what am I trying to say? My like ways that money's come into our bank account this month. My husband's business, we obviously still do get like a very, very small amount of carer's allowance because my kids have disabilities. So that's like, at the moment, that's that. We've got 8 streams of income. In the next 3 months, we will add another 3 streams of income to that. Oh, sorry, no, I also get paid for like illustrations, so my kink art. So I draw, someone sends me an erotic image of themselves and I turn it into an art piece so then they can like hang in their home without it kind of being subtle enough that people don't necessarily know it's a nude photo of their daughter-in-law or something. So I get paid to do that as well. So there's lots of different ways to make income. There are so many different ways that people are doing what they love. In China, there are professional listeners. You can just hire someone if you want to go to lunch to a restaurant and you don't have any friends or family that want to come to that particular restaurant with you, but you also don't want to sit alone. You can literally hire someone from an hour to just come and eat, and they can either just, I think there's like a tick box thing where you can ask for conversation, silence, or just like listen and what do you call it, like body cue acknowledgement instead of verbal acknowledgement, so they just listen but are engaged in what you're saying. So I mean, there's just so many ways to make money. It's absolutely insane, right? And then another action step is a reality check. The people that are making the type of money that you would like to make are not necessarily working harder and longer than you. Perhaps they're working smarter, or maybe they're focused on nurturing their relationship with money in the way that you are learning to do now. But there is no link to IQ. There is no link to the hours that you put into your business, right? I make more money on the days where I don't sit in front of my computer every fucking time. I've tracked it now. I've made notes of it. The days I sit in front of my computer, I actually don't make as much money as the days I'm out living my life, right? And then my third action step for this one is using the empowering affirmations to rewire your attitude towards money. It's one of those like little daily steps that you can take that can really shift your perspective on how easy it actually is to make money. If you want to try, I've got a 30-day option for abundance affirmations text, so you can try it for 30 days. And then it gives you the option, if you want to continue to receive daily affirmations, you can get them for a further 365 days for a small monthly cost, right? So if you want information on that, send me an Instagram DM and I'll send you the links. Okay, are we ready for the next belief? Right? Yeah, it was a bit funny there for a while. Did you say book sales? Yeah, sorry about that. My internet's interesting. Okay, internet issues. I will say my income streams again, if I can remember them. Okay, ways that I made money was my membership, private coaching, like payment plans for my courses, subscription services like the SMS affirmations that I just shared, my book sales, so I get royalties on my book sales. I get paid to do kink art illustrations for people as well. That's another little thing I've got going. I also recently have been paid by musicians and artists to put, I had one of my playlists go viral on TikTok, and so now I actually get artists and musicians email me and they're like, can you listen to my song? If you like that song, can I pay you to put it on your playlist? And I was like, that's crazy. But okay. So I now have that other income. Wait a minute, did I put that finger up as well? I don't know. That income stream as well. Yeah, my husband's business, and we're a network marketing residual income, and we're about to add another 3 income streams over the next 3 months as well. So there's a lot of stuff happening. My time, creative, my design income as well. Guest speaking, I get paid to do guest speaking gigs. There's a lot of different ways that money actually comes into my account every month. And I think that that's so cool. I'm all about building a diverse product suite of ways that I can be paid in multiple different ways every day. Okay, book sales, yeah. Can you say streams income? Yep, I've done that. Hopefully that worked all right. Okay, all right, let's have a look. And the next belief is, we have this deeply programmed into us, is that rich or wealthy people are bad and greedy, and this can keep us super blocked when it comes to actually earning and having a safe and loving relationship with earning a lot of money. You might find in your life that you've kind of got this financial glass ceiling. Mine always used to be $4,000. I was like, if I just earned $4,000, and I started to earn that a month. And then it was like I was pushing so hard to hit the 10Ks, and I could never get past this $4,000 a month. And it was because I had this mental block of like, that's how much my husband earned. And earning any more than that would make me earn more than him. And then I would be like that woman, right? Then I would like be that rich bitch that earns more money than him. And I just had this whole story in my head about what that meant. But you might have this financial glass ceiling of maybe in your business, you can't seem to surpass what you made in your old job. Maybe you're stuck thinking you can't make more money than your parents. Maybe there's this idea in your head of like, when I make $100,000 a year, which is honestly nothing, when I make that, I will be a rich and wealthy woman. And so your inner subconscious is going, well, rich and wealthy people are bad. So we can't be that because that's really bad, right? So money is not linked to our morality. Actually, before I go into this, does anyone have this pop up? Even I have it, if this is the reason I don't share my income online. Not the reason, this is one of the reasons. I never want someone to look at me and create that income as their benchmark goal. It's like the reason why I expect, fitness models and what do you call it, like bodybuilders and stuff who don't share their information, their stats, their weight, because it becomes this unhealthy benchmark for people. But also because you should never want to work with me because of how much money I make. That shouldn't even factor into whether you join my programs, whether you work with me, because it has nothing to do with how I can help you, right? The people online saying like, I made $100,000 and I can teach you how to do it too. Often the way they made $100,000 was, that coach versus coach cycle. And you're buying their program, which is giving them the money to say, I made $100,000. And is anyone actually getting any advice or value out of it? We don't know, right? But anyway, what comes up for you when we talk about rich people, wealthy people? While you comment that, I'm going to touch into this a little bit. So money is not linked to our morality or our goodness or our bad. More or less money does not make us good or bad or right or wrong. Those who suffer are not better, and those who are wealthy are not corrupt. Yet there's this it's so deeply ingrained in us where we feel like we get more brownie points if we've suffered the most. Like, I've worked the hardest. It's so deeply attached to our self-esteem that it's like the worst thing you could be would be rich and lazy, right? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll never be lazy because I'm ADHD and like hyperactive as fuck. But you know what I mean? Like, I think it feels like the worst thing we could be to be rich and enjoy ourselves. Like, we've got so much of our self-esteem and our self-worth is linked to this. I work hard. I have suffered. I'm a good person because I have suffered and because I, am not enjoying my life, right? So many of us believe that rich people are greedy and evil and selfish, as we believe it as the absolute truth. So let's actually take a moment to see where that belief stemmed from and why it's in action. And don't get me wrong, over the years we have classic examples where rich have taken advantage, where people's wealth has been built off of the backs of other people, built off of theft and genocide and so many other things like that. So don't get me wrong, there is real world evidence, but I'm hoping it's in the past. And I don't want that real world evidence to stop you, a good person, doing good with your money and impacting the world in a positive way, from reaching your full potential because of what someone did a long time ago. Not that long, but you know what I mean. So let's just dive into it. Between the ages of 0 and 7, we are these little sponges. We're just little baby sponges, and we're accepting and absorbing everything from our environment, and we are turning that into the rules and programming for the world around us. So did you have lots of wealthy, affluent people in your life when you were younger? Maybe, but maybe not. So where did we adopt and make true for us this rich equals bad mentality? For many of us, we didn't have wealthy people around us. So it came from what we did have around us, which was media. We were exposed to movies, books, television shows that glorified this poor and struggled as the good guy and demonized the wealthy, famous, influential as bad. So what did you guys grow up watching on TV? What were your movies and things that you liked? I grew up watching, I'm going to give away my age here, Mean Girls, hating Alison Ashley, which is a very Australian movie. I don't know if anyone else has seen it. Featuring Delta Goodrem. It was a great movie. Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging, which is a British movie, which my sister and I were obsessed with. The Worst Witch, Sleepover, Wild Child, The Saddle Club, and all of this that I was like obsessively watching and rewatching, and Saturday Morning Disney and all that type of stuff. All of these were fantastic examples of rich equals the enemy. And as young women, we're so desperate to understand the world around us, to figure out how we fit in. And we turn to things like movies, TVs, books, magazines like Cleo or Girlfriend or Cosmopolitan to try to make sense of our society. Where do we fit, right? And when every medium around you is telling you there is always a pretty rich girl who you will dislike, and it turns out she's really miserable and unhappy and a bitch, you start to create that in your reality, and you start to put yourself in the place. It's like, okay, well, if she's the bad guy, I have to be the average girl to be the good girl, right? We may have noticed this programming to fit. We want to fit into these stereotypes that we're shown as kids, try to figure out and navigate the world. We're going to put ourselves in this little box. And it's disappointing that it happens, but it happens to so many of us. And what happened was I found myself instantly judging those who had more than me, or those who I saw as conventionally prettier than me, without ever bothering to actually get to know them or give them the chance. They were instantly put into this us and them, I'm good, you're bad category. And as we've all grown up and reconnected, I'm glad to say that some of the girls in my classes that I classed as rich girl enemies in high school are now some of my favorite people to connect with. We have so much in common, and it's great. They're incredibly talented and passionate, funny and kind, and they're just down to earth women. We can see these same examples though with the wealthy bad guy stereotype in so many books and movies, right? I want you to think about every mayor you've ever seen in a kids movie, every bad guy in the story, right? You can see how easy it is, how boringly predictable this narrative is, right? Challenge you right now, think about the films and books you read as a child. Who was the villain? Who was the bad guy? Who was the bully? Was it the rich kid, the corrupt wealthy mayor, the affluent family, or the private school bully? Can you begin to see where these limiting beliefs stem from that are not actually true? And once you hit this point and you're like, oh my God, I have been letting The Simpsons run my life because Mr. Burns is a rich bad guy and I don't want to be the bad weird guy. And you're kind of like, this is all bullshit. How am I letting the Simpsons and my inner 7-year-old run my life now and stop me from being wealthy and successful that I actually want to be? And we see these kind of limiting beliefs pop up when women are doing everything in their business and they're so passionate and they're so excited about it, and yet they keep self-sabotaging. They're not promoting the way they should be. Someone, says, oh, you're a bit expensive, and they give them a discount, or they keep their early bird prices up longer than they should be, and we self-sabotage in all these ways to keep ourselves small and safe, right? So I'm just going to rattle off some experiences I've recently rewatched or thought about and gone like, oh my god, no wonder I thought rich people were bad people. Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, the Malfoy family from Harry Potter. Harry Potter lives under the stairs. He's a broke boy. He is suffering. He's the good boy. And we look at Draco Malfoy as a spoiled little rich kid. Instead of just going, family trauma and a whole lot of other shit, our brain just goes like, when we're kids, we can't understand there's family and there's power struggles and all that. We just go like, well, he's the rich, snobby kid. He's the bad guy, right? When it's actually like a lot more involved in that. Regina George from Mean Girls, Walter from The Little Rascals, which is one of my kids' favorite movies now. It's not aged well, let's say that, but Walter from The Little Rascals, he's the rich boy, the slimy rich boy. When you're watching that as a kid and you meet your first wealthy man in real life and you're going, bad guy, right? Instead of the mentality of like, let's see how this goes. We're going, bad guy, straight away. Our hackles are up, our red flags raised. I used to watch Angela Anaconda, Nanette Memoir. She was the rich girl that had a limo and spoke French, and she was the bad guy, right? And what happens is we see all this stuff. The Devil Wears Prada, Miranda Priestley from those movies, and basically everything, right? Then as an adult, this belief system is then reinforced in every medium we view, everything we're exposed to. We root for the poor underdogs, and we wait for the wealthy, successful character to be revealed as the shocking, I didn't see that coming, villain. And the way that you think about wealthy, beautiful, successful, and abundant people is either helping you to attract more abundance, or it is hindering and sabotaging you literally from the inside out. So what's happening when we're trying to manifest on a surface level? We're trying to work on our relationship with money. We're trying to call in more abundance. We're saying all the affirmations. We're using the I am statements. We're trying to manifest more money by paying attention to it. However, on that deeper subconscious level, our inner 7-year-old that collects all that programming and makes all the rules, she genuinely believes that if she becomes a rich, wealthy, beautiful, affluent person, those people are bad and shitty and evil and greedy and vain and malicious and corrupt and they're dirty people. And so the inner 7-year-old is going, that is not safe, that is not allowed, everyone will hate us, we will be the bad guy, and we cannot be rich and wealthy. And so she will self-sabotage you at every fucking turn. Whether that is, setting a goal for the month. I'm going to hit $10,000, and then by halfway through the month, you're only $1,000, and you're like, well, there's no way I can make up the other 9. So your inner little 7-year-old pops up and just give up now. So I'm just going to give up now. There's no point. It's not going to happen for me. It can be those things like, knowing that investing in a course or a program or mentorship, having this deep inner feeling that this is going to push you forward and this is going to unlock those next level of income. And that little 7-year-old pops up and goes, but remember, if we actually get rich and have all this success, people won't like us and we'll be the bad guy. And so she pops up, and that's why your finger goes from the register and sign up button and we take it away. So she's self-sabotaging you in all these little ways that we're not consciously aware of, right? That inner 7-year-old that guides our system and runs our emotional programming, she's like the internal decider of right and wrong. And that belief system that she's got is telling us that if we become wealthy and abundant, we will be the wrong person. So what you need to do is first identify where those messages have come from for you, because it will be different for everyone. And you need to actually ask yourself, is this true? Will having money make me a bad person? Of course it's not true, right? Because chances are the rich people that you actually see in today's world are amazing. philanthropic, kind, down-to-earth people who have worked with passion and integrity to get where they are today. Some people I know probably even look at me. They'd probably even look at me and get triggered. I don't share my income, but they would get triggered by my success and seeing what I do and the fact I retired my husband, and they would really get triggered by that. And they'd probably make an assumption in their own head about what I've done to get there. Or it's okay because, she's white and blonde. Oh, it's okay because, she got on Instagram at the right time. And they probably don't see the hours of work that I've put in over the last 5 years to get to this point today, right? Are there some people who are absolute fucking jerks, who took advantage, who did the wrong thing, who stepped on people to get to the top? Absolutely. Absolutely. There are shitty people out there. I got robbed last week, guys. My cleaner stole from me nearly $1,000. Yep. She's a shitty person, right? She doesn't have to be wealthy to be shitty. She's just shitty. So where is your subconscious trying to protect you? Remember this, broke people like my cleaner can be an asshole too. Money and wealth are not accurate indicators of goodness or pureness or whether you're the right person. A broke guy can cheat on an amazing girl, and a wealthy guy can cheat on an amazing girl. A broke woman can manipulate those people around her for her gains, and a wealthy woman can manipulate those around her for her gains. A broke mum can ignore her child's emotional needs, and a wealthy mum can ignore her child's emotional needs. So let's just get rid of the money factor from here. Let's remove rich from the phrase. People say rich people are greedy and evil and selfish. And if it's more accurate, a rewritten expression could be described as some people are greedy and evil and selfish because they don't know better yet. Or you better yet, the phrase could be everyone is doing the absolute best they can with the information and resources available to them at the time, right? So money is only an amplifier. It is a resource. It is a tool. It cannot change who you are. If you were vain and proud before you had wealth, you would be those things even more once you have wealth. If you were compassionate and empathetic before you had wealth, you would be those qualities amplified once you've amassed wealth. Money simply magnifies what's already there, and it magnifies the impact you can have. So in cases where when people are like, oh, money's changed people, it's like, it wasn't money. It's the fear, it's the trauma, it's the personality traits that were already there. It's the situation and changes, but it's like money didn't do it. Money is not this like greedy little bacteria growth that gets into people's bank accounts and it's like, I'm going to completely shift who you are personality wise. I'm going to infect you and make you greedy. It doesn't happen like that. It's this tool. It's a resource and it can't do anything that you don't already have. So I want you to think about the fact that money magnifies the impact that you can have. When I think about this, money magnifies the impact I can have in this world. It allows me to give back to my community. It allows me to purchase books to support budding authors. It allows me to contribute investing in startup companies and other women's dreams. Money and wealth allows me to hire in my country and hire women and mums. There is nothing I love more, you guys, when I say this with all my heart, there is nothing I love more than sending money to other women business owners' bank account. I fucking love paying invoices. I love paying my virtual assistant. I love paying my public relations team. I fucking love putting more money into other women's hands, right? Money allows me to give back to charities that are close to my heart, especially ones around autism for my kids. It allows me to create scholarships for high school students. This is one of my next goals for the next 5 years. And it can provide fantastic opportunities and experiences for my family. So I promise you, there is nothing to be afraid of. Money amplifies the best of you. So action steps you can take around this specific limiting belief if you want to dive more into this. Read biographies of successful women. And once you normalize the fact that, everyone has a journey and everyone has things that didn't happen the best way for them and everyone has things that worked out really well, once you can normalize women's success and women with wealth, then it begins to feel accessible and close to you instead of this far off thing, right? Another tactic I did at the beginning of my money mindset journal was to every day write down ways that money does so much good in this world, in terms of like charity work or how money funding research, and just money I was able to pay for someone's coffee today, whatever it is. Making note of the ways that money does good in this world can completely shift your energy around it. And then catch your negative thoughts about others who are successful as they pop up. And what it can be is that thought of like, when it comes up for me, I acknowledge that it's coming from my little 7-year-old so in me. So if I see another really wealthy coach online and she's doing this and she's doing that, and I feel super fucking triggered, and I start to be like, yeah, well, she bought 200,000 of her followers first. It's just like, okay, I see you, 7-year-old Shona. I know you are trying to keep me safe with these thoughts and words. You are trying to protect me. I feel that love from you. I thank you so much for trying to keep me safe, but I do not need that. Thank you, but I am choosing to let that go. I know I am safe. I know I'm okay. I know I am loved. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm enough. Thank you, but you're not needed here. And it's just like giving her permission to step back. I literally visualize 7-year-old me with my crazy, curly, wild hair up in a school bow, my yellow polo short, my bike shorts on, my socks pulled up real high. I see her inside me going, oh, wait. And I just have to say to her, no, it's okay. We're going to be okay. Thank you for trying to protect me, but I don't need that. I'm a big girl now. Thank you. I love you. You can go chill out now. Go play Lego, something like that. You know what I mean? Okay. So how are we feeling so far? I'm going to check the comments. I'm melting a little bit. And then I'm going to touch on the third limiting belief. Laurie, I have a hard time charging people for valuable information that took me many years to learn rather than charging. I want to help so much. I usually end up giving the information for free. What should I work on? Boundaries, babe. Boundaries and knowing your worth. And you probably need a little bit of support from someone who can hold you to that as it's popping up for you, because that's an ongoing evolution. It can be little things. I had a client like, I'm gonna extend the early bird out a month on my offering right now, and I'm like, no you're not. No you're not. And it's valuing what you do, and it's creating a little bit of detachment, right? So when I worked, before I do what I do today, while I was studying at university, before I became a mum, I worked in optical dispensing. I went to uni, became an optical dispenser. I worked in OPSM, Lorben & Pank, Specsavers, that type of thing. Eventually I got to a management role. But when I was on the floor selling glasses to people, and they were like, oh, it's a bit expensive, it'd be like, okay, well, the quote's here, and the quote will be valid for 14 days, and you can go home and think about it if you like. There was no attachment to the outcome. I wasn't like gonna take it personally if they didn't order their multifocal glasses with me that day, right? And so I think sometimes when we're running our own business, we've got this such personal attachment to it, and you need to have personal attachment to your brand. But whether someone says yes or no to you, it's not up to you. It's not about you. Your pricing is, your pricing is what it is. They can make the decision. The information is there. They can choose to work with you. They can choose not to work with you. But when you create those healthy boundaries, when you're okay with the client saying, I'm not ready for this yet, or I've got to save up a little bit more, and you're truly okay with that, that's when everything shifts and changes. And I'm not going to say that I feel totally worthy and deserving every single day, because it is an ongoing evolution and process. I had a moment early December where I'm like to my husband, like, am I even good at this? I don't even know if I'm like, do I know what I'm doing? Have I just fluked it for the last 5 years? I'm like literally in tears in the fetal position on my bed, crying. And he's like, what are you talking about? There's no way you could fluke this. Like, are you kidding me? We all have those moments of doubt, but you better believe like 10 minutes later, I showed up on a fucking call with my client, and she went from a $700 a month client to a $2,200 a month client. She made that decision completely herself. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I am very good at this. I help people, and it's knowing your value and knowing your worth too. So do you gratitude journal, Laurie? Do you write down every single day at the end of the day things you're grateful for? Something you can add into this is a way that I've added value to the world today, and really start to acknowledge and see your value that you bring to this space. See how you're helping people. See the impact that you're having. If I have a bad day of questioning everything, I literally go back and read. I have all my testimonials from clients stored in the notes in my phone, and I will go and read testimonials to remind myself that I am doing good work and I am changing lives. And it's not up to me to give my entire work for nothing, because that's the thing. I've got clients who, let's say they work in disability, and you know they advocate and they're super passionate about this work, but they cannot continue to do that work and offer this service if their prices are so low that they can't pay their electricity bill or can't pay for the internet to then get on these calls with these clients. So we structured her repricing and communicated it to her clients in a way that it's like, for me to be able to continue to do this work, for me to be able to show up and have this space for you, I need to have firmer boundaries, not only around my time, but around my pricing. And that's when you step up from like hobby business owner to a whole queen level. It is a complete energetic mindset shift. I said I wasn't going to share anything about my products on this call, but I have to let you know that that is the whole intention of the overflow, is this mindset shift between having a hobby business and having a legitimate business and a company with boundaries and a little like super attached purpose to your business, but detachment in terms of your pricing, like treating it actually like a business, right? Does that help? There's a lot of stuff around, especially if you're doing spiritual work and healing. It's like everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't charge for that. And it's like, you don't need to be broke to be helping people and to be spiritual. You can actually do all of it, and it feels a lot better for people involved. Okay, I actually had a coach recently who I'd worked with in the past, and she got back in touch with me and she's like, I'm actually offering it at half price for the month of January. And I'm like, I'm interested in working with you, but I would pay full price, because if you charge half price, I don't even fucking respect you whatsoever. And she's like, oh, okay. And then I thought about it later, I'm like, probably a sign that I'm ready for a different level of coach if I don't respect someone's pricing for their product or service as well. Okay, but let's dive into the next limiting belief. Laurie would love to chat with you more about that, so let me know if that helped or not. Okay, this is the one that can sneak up on ambitious women. And I'm going to talk about it in the context of being a bad mum, but feel free to let this principle slide over to a bad wife, a bad sister, a bad friend. It's once again deeply steeped in that like good girl that we want to be. So the one that sneaks up the most, that's what I've left it to last, for ambitious women in business, is the belief that success and wealth and a thriving business will make us bad mothers and bad parents. So let's dive into that one. I held on to this belief so tightly with so much conviction for so long until I was proved wrong, right? Growing up, there was a couple of people in my life that were very wealthy, you know, smart decisions, business owners, retired by 40, that type of thing. The people that I saw and experienced in my life, they either didn't have kids or they had kids, but they like, I don't know if their parents knew this, but I knew it because we were friends. They were private school kids with a party drug habit. You know, like I was going drinking with friends in a paddock and I might have snuck 2 vodka cruises. They were like doing coke at their friends, you know, townhouse for the weekend. In my microscopic country town view, it was just worlds apart. And what this, for me, led to as this black and white option. You could either have money or you could be a good parent, but not both. And it would be things like, growing up, I was watching the OC or Laguna Beach, and it just further cemented this idea in my head that kids whose parents had money were even more emotionally fucked up than the rest of us. And somehow these thoughts translated into my subconscious too, that if I work hard and I'm successful, it will mean I have to spend so much time away from my family, that my kids will act out and try to get my attention in time. But also the opposite end of that, if I spoil my kids, they will turn into self-entitled, lazy turds, right? And it's especially prevalent in my husband and my side of the family, very hardworking families, like that manual labor. My dad's, you know, in the fire service, my sister's a midwife, all my relatives were firemen, nurses, paramedics, like hard-working families, and I'm here like making money online. I don't think my family even still fathoms what I do. My mum tells people she's an author. And I'm like, that's one of 10 parts, but that's the part you've latched onto, and that's what you enjoy telling people. That's fucking great, right? So there's this idea if we spoil my kids, they will turn into self-entitled lazy turds. So these beliefs are why I was never really maternal as a child or a teenager. A lot of my friends were like playing babies and playing families, and I wasn't really interested in being a mum or playing house. I wanted to play the empire. I never even saw kids in my future until my boyfriend, who is now my husband, told me 2 weeks into dating, I think we were just 17, 2 weeks into dating, he's like, look, I'm in this for marriage and kids. I want to be a dad. So if that's not what you're into, don't waste my time if you don't want that. We were 17 and I knew he would be an amazing dad, and he is an amazing dad. And as shocked as I was about how forward he went about that conversation, 3 kids later, we're happier than ever. But for so long, I honestly and completely, don't judge me for this, 100% believed to my core that I couldn't have it all. I couldn't have both, that it wasn't even possible. And I think I had this blueprint of my mum, who was really a stay-at-home mum. She was, and dad made the majority of the money. She was an amazing mum. My mum was an amazing mum. She was there for every bake sale. She made every costume from scratch for Book Week. She was there to read books with us and, make extra snacks and pack our lunches with little notes and everything. And I had this belief that I couldn't be a good mum. I couldn't live up to that with also striving for anything outside of motherhood. So, yeah, that's the belief I held. Self-sabotage myself for a long time. I'm talking like I just started to heal this and I found out I was pregnant with my 3rd child. And I was seriously like, he's here and he's 3, but sometimes I look at my kids and I'm like, how the fuck did I get 3 kids? Like, that was not part of the plan. I'm still not used to it, right? So there's a lot of healing around that when I was pregnant and having my 3rd child, and I'm still noticing it pop up. I'm still seeing it. I had a conversation with my husband last night because there was a pile of washing in our theatre. And I was sitting down last night, I was in a lot of pain, had a PCOS flare up really bad. I was up most of the night actually, in and out of the hot shower in pain. And I said to him, I'm like, I'll get to the washing probably on Wednesday because I'm in calls all day today. And he's like, babe, no one cares. It's fine. I'm like, no, I'll get to it. I know I'll get to it. And he's like, I'll fold it. It's fine. Like, why are you stressed about the washing? And I'm like, because my mum, she always had the washing folded. So it continues to pop up. I'm a lot more aware of it now. And he kind of just went like, you're projecting. Chill out, go have another hot shower and relax, right? I held this belief so tightly. It's loosening. I'm getting a lot better at it. This is the hardest one, I think, for women and mums in business to break. I struggled with this until I met millionaires who were amazing parents, right? And I don't talk a lot about my network marketing experience. Many parts of that journey make me completely cringe with how misaligned and out of integrity and unethical that journey is. But there's also parts of that which made me who I am today. Some of my best friends I met through that journey, lots of life lessons I gained about the personal development world and leadership pathways that I was a part of. And most of all, it exposed me to people that were earning the kind of money that up until that point, I couldn't have even dreamed of. Now I'm just like, how did I think that was a lot of money? It's literally, I said that yesterday. I'm like, how did I think that was a lot of money? That's less than what I make a month now. You know what I mean? But back then, I thought that was like, oh my God, right? I couldn't even fathom that they made this much money. Up until that point, I haven't even dreamed of it. I sat with multi-millionaires and we just talked about our kids starting school. They had the same concerns I did. Will they make friends? Will the kids remember to ask if they need to go to the toilet? I sat and lunched with billionaires who shared with me how excited they were to become grandparents again. The money didn't make a difference. Family was family. Love was love. Parents were doing the best that they could do, no matter what their bank accounts looked like, right? And this prompted me to go on a deeper journey into like the examples I had in my life of the type of parent that I wanted to be and looked up to as a mother. And as I journaled more and more on this, I realized the values that I actually inspired to embody as a parent and mother, which is like that emotional connection, having time for my kids, encouraging them, not projecting my own thoughts and belief system on them and allowing them to have space to make up their own mind about stuff, I realized that none of that would change with wealth, right? I had friends who live paycheck to paycheck, who still do, and their kids always give them huge hugs at the school gate. And I have friends who make 6 figures a month, right? Like I said, 6 figures is not a big deal for me, but I think that might blow your mind. Who take their newborn daughter for a walk in her pram every damn day, rain or shine. Their coffee mugs, they got 2 Dachshund puppies, mum and dad and little Lila walking together every day. And I know of other people who worked 70 hours a week, make a lot of money, fucking love what they do in a job, right? Still make time for bedtime story every night. Despite a crazy work schedule, often being gone before their teenage kids even woke up. Well, yeah. Teenagers, nah, I probably got that wrong. One's a teenager, the other 2 are young, hence the bedtime story, right? 13, was it 6, 2, yeah. You know what I mean. Money is not the factor in good parents or bad parents. We are the factor. Our values, our priorities, our intentions, and mindfulness with our children. And the biggest shift for me was when I realized I was saying to my daughter, you can do anything you want to do in life, babe. You have my full support. No matter what you want to be, no matter where you want to go, no matter what you want to do, you have my full support. Follow your dreams. And then I realized, how could I say that to her and then not live up to my own potential? Right? If I want to break this cycle of like self-sacrificing mothers, women putting themselves last, wage gap inequality and all that type of stuff, it starts in my home. It starts with what I do and what I model for my kids. You know, yes, my daughter's going to grow up knowing what it looks like to be an ambitious woman who still has a lot of time for her kids. And my sons are going to grow up knowing that an ambitious woman can still also have a loving relationship with a man, can still also have time for people. You know, so it starts here. It starts with us. All right, so how do we feel about that? Mind blown or a little bit triggered, right? Told you this one was gonna be hard. There are some action steps though that you can do around this. And once again, I'm gonna put these in a post up later, probably tonight, because I'm gonna have to go and rest after this call and then dive into 2 more hours of coaching. Decide your core parenting values. For example, in our family, we have honesty, adventure, and curiosity and acceptance. That's it, that's the values. The values will be your true guiding north once you decide what's most important to you. Like if yours is loyalty, fun, faith, whether you're broke or abundant, you can cultivate these values for your family and for yourself. And then once you do this work, watch your cash flow in your business fucking increase, because now you don't have that story of, if I get more orders, that means I'm going to be stressed trying to pack the orders, or it means the kid's gonna have to have 20 more minutes of fucking CoComelon while I pack these orders. So instead we self-sabotage by not putting that sale up online because we don't feel like we have the capacity, or that it will make us a bad mum if we spend more time in our business, right? We self-sabotage and stop ourselves growing, putting that sale up, reaching out to that client, showing up for that webinar, whatever it is. We self-sabotage ourselves because we believe that every step towards success and abundance in our business takes us away from our family, but it's just not the case. It's not an us or them, this or that choice. You get to have it all. Who said that you can't, right? Who said that you can't? You get to have it all, right? So decide your core parenting values. That's number 1. That will be your guiding true north. Look at other wealthy, successful people who are great parents and give yourself and your mind proof to choose this narrative instead. So I realize as well, there's not many examples for this in the world around us today. There's really not many examples for this. But one particular family that my husband and I really, love watching and engaging and looking up to is the Patriot Campers family. They've got a YouTube channel. They have this massive business where they build these custom camper trailers for people, but they showcase a lot about their family. And you've got this mum and dad who are incredibly successful, have grown a massive company, and they are connected parents. They have really great relationships with their kids. They are encouraging and physically affectionate and spend time with their kids and laugh and joke and travel the world with their family. And I'm just like, that's the proof, right? That's the proof. And anytime my husband and I, because we are in the fucking thick of it, right? 3 companies, 3 kids, everything has grown exponentially. Like even in the last, like December, January, February is looking like 3 times as hectic for us. We're looking at all that and going, just hold the faith. Hold the faith. Watch more Patriot Campers. Cultivate that relationship. There's this what my husband and I say is, what would Heavy D do? Which is, Heavy D is another YouTuber that my husband watches. You know, what would Justin do? It's that, give yourself healthy parenting models. Find people who are successful, who are great kids, and choose their kids as well. And just collect so much evidence that it works and that you do get to have it all. That all the other stories and shit clears out. That all goes away. My last action tip for that would be, write a list of all the ways you can be more fun, mindful, present parent. If you never had to worry about money again, and then try and make some of those a reality for you today. So one of the big things my husband and I want to focus on this year is actually staying really clear on our work days. We each have 4 days where the kids are in kindy and school, so all 3 of them aren't home, and the work happens on those 4 days. It doesn't happen after 3 o'clock. It's not happening before 9 o'clock. It's not happening on a Friday. It's not happening on a Sunday. It's not happening. We've got these really clear boundaries now, and it feels so fucking good to go and pick the kids up and run around to the extracurricular activities and come home and my phone's on charge in the office here, my computer's turned off, and I'm just cooking dinner and spending time with my family. I'm not like popping in to check something. I'm not, I quickly got to send this invoice off. I'm like, it can happen tomorrow. It can happen tomorrow. You know what I mean? So try and make some of these goals a reality for you today. And once again, give yourself proof that you can move towards success and you can move towards being a great mum at the same time. Yeah? So how are we feeling? That's the 3 beliefs I want to touch on today. Like I said, there is so many more, but those are the 3 that I find pop up the most when I'm having these conversations with women in business. So how are we feeling? Good? Overwhelmed? Scared? What's happening for you guys? Okay. I'll check back in. If you have any questions for me, if you have anything else you would like me to touch on, please let me know. All right, so let me talk about where I want to leave you with that. I firmly believe that releasing the taboo around money, especially women talking and learning about money, will bring dramatic change to our world. Money and sex make the world go round, and they're both part of our lives that can bring us great joy and comfort, or they can be such a source of trauma and fear and anxiety, and yet we never talk about them. We don't commit ourselves to learning about them. It's kind of like you can't pop up in conversation and be like, what's your best blowjob technique? Because I really like to get better at mine. Like, it's not accepted to talk about. The more we open up the conversations about money, the more empowered and excited people can become about it. When people are more empowered, they become more responsible, and then they can change from a place of abundance and love, not change from a place of scarcity and fear and like, oh fuck, how do we make it work? So the first step to actually making a lot of money, number 1, as women in business, is admitting that you want to make a lot of money and fully owning that. For me, it's like, I am ready to say I am a woman with $1 million business, and say it with this confidence and this conviction, right? If you can't even admit that you want to make money, if you can't even admit that you want to make a lot of money, or whatever is deemed a lot for you, how are you ever going to get to a place where you feel safe and comfortable being a wealthy woman? Money is not bad. Money is not evil. It is a resource. And when you have resource, you have access to things to help create a fulfilling and meaningful life. The more creative and fulfilled that you are, the more support you can have, and the more support you have, the more you can support others. So you have the ability to support organizations and companies and brands and choose with your dollar. If you're going to Kmart and you're buying things from Kmart, but you fucking hate buying things from Kmart, It's all you can afford, but you know that Kmart ripped off that actual small clothing designer. You know, she made a linen dress that was $300 and you loved it, but you're like, oh, I can get it at Kmart cheaper, but it doesn't feel right for you. Once you have money, you have choice with your dollar, right? How fucking good would that feel if people were able to choose to support brands and communities and organizations that they actually want to support, that they align with ethically, instead of just, fuck, what can I afford, right? Money is an amazing tool for you to experience everything you want in your life and to support other people to experience everything they want as well. Like the money that I make allows me to pay my virtual assistant, allows me to pay my public relations team, which allows them to put food on the table for their family. Like money in women's hands is powerful, but it's only powerful when you let go of any ideas that it's wrong or that it's bad or that it's not right to have it, because it's just not true. Money is fun and money is sexy and money is a wonderful way to receive all that you want to in life. You just have to allow it to be that way first, right? So here's my closing thoughts for you all today. You aren't meant to struggle with money. Your relationship with money is meant to be easy, and when it does get easier and you start to feel safer with money, that's when cash flow increases in your business. That's when your profit margin increases. That's when you feel firm holding to your boundaries and feel supported. You're meant to feel supported, loved, and you're meant to feel truly appreciated by money. There is no being or person in this world that truly benefits from you being broke or anxious all the time around money, because you are meant for more. You are meant for wonder, and you are meant for greatness, and you are meant to live out all of your desires. The desires wouldn't be there in your heart if they weren't meant for you. And the work that you're doing, you deserve to be divinely compensated for that. Because women, more money in the hands of women will create massive change in this world. So you need to stop hesitating when it comes to charging your prices and understanding your worth and feeling comfortable owning and growing and expanding your money, talking about money. Like if we can't even talk about it, if we can't even admit we want it, how are we meant to get it? Right? It's like saying all the I'm a money-making magnet affirmations into the air, and the universe is like, bitch doesn't even know how much money she wants to make. Bitch doesn't even have a bank account set up for her business. Bitch won't even promote her particular product or service because she's too scared that she might actually be successful and wealthy. All this happens subconsciously. We don't realize it on the surface, but that is my closing note. If I can say anything, you're meant for more, you're meant for wonder, you're meant for greatness, and you're meant to live out all of your desires. So let's stop playing small and let's stop playing scared. And I cannot wait to see what you do with the power from this container and how you move forward with this. As I said, stay tuned for the post on the action steps for all of this that we've talked about today. Replay will be emailed out to everyone tonight. And if you have any questions about what we've spoken about today, or if you would like to have a chat to me personally about what might be the right next step for you in your business and in your life right now, please reach out to me on Instagram and we can have a little bit of a chat in the DMs. But I hope you all have an amazing day and that you've got some value out of today's masterclass. And yeah, I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.